Welcome to Chapter 1, Concept 3. Today we're going to be talking about subtracting real numbers. Yesterday we did adding, today we're going to do subtracting. And subtracting, really, you're going to follow the same rules as we did yesterday with adding, except there's one little difference that you have to be careful of. Anytime you have two negatives right next to each other, they're going to become a positive. Two negatives right next to each other, they become a positive. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look. Take a look at, for example, number 71. Here we have 6 minus negative 6. See these two little negative symbols right next to each other? Since they are right next to each other and the only thing that's in between is parentheses, that's okay, we are going to turn them into positives. Take a look over at 72. It's the same thing. We have minus a negative. We have negative 8 minus negative 1. These two negative symbols right next to each other, all they have in the middle is a parenthesis, so we're going to turn them into positives. Let's see if I see another one. Here's one. Negative 3 minus negative 2. These two are right next to each other. All that's in the middle is parentheses. They are going to become a positive. Okay, so anytime you hear those words minus negative when you read the problem out loud, anytime you see minus negative together, you're going to turn those two into positives. All right, so why don't you pause the video and go through all of the questions all the way down to number 96, and anywhere you see two negative symbols together, I want you to turn them into positives. Okay, go ahead and do that now. Take a look here real quick. I will scroll through and see if I marked the same ones that you marked. Did you find them all? I hope you did. All right, now let's take a look at how we actually do this subtraction. So taking a look at number 69, here we have 2 minus 7. Now, the way that I want you to think about this is as if you had two things that you are putting together. Remember I said I want you to start trying to think of these as two individual numbers that we're just putting together, almost like ingredients in a cake. We have flour, we have eggs, we put them together along with some other things, and we have cake batter. We don't have flour and eggs anymore. So we're going to take a positive 2 and a negative 7. We're going to put them together. How do we do that? Well, same signs, add and keep. These have different signs. So different signs subtract. So 7 minus 2 is going to be 5. Keep the sign of the bigger one. The bigger one is 7, so I'm going to keep that sign, and I'm done. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. Let's take a look at number 71. Here I have 6. It was 6 minus negative 6, but I changed those into positive. So now I have a positive 6 and a positive 6. Same signs, add and keep. 6 plus 6 is 12, and they will stay positive because I'm going to keep that sign. 73, I have a negative 5 plus 6. One is negative, one is positive. So let's see, same signs, add and keep. Different signs, subtract. 6 minus 5 is 1. Keep the sign of the bigger one. 6 is bigger, so my 1 will be positive. And I'm done. Here I have a positive 8, because remember, if there's no sign, it's positive. Positive 8 and a negative 3. Different signs, subtract. That's a 5. Keep the sign of the bigger one. 8 is bigger, and then you'll be exact. Here I have 1 minus 7. So a positive 1 and a minus 7. Different signs, subtract. So 7 minus 1 is 6. Keep the sign of the bigger one. 7 is bigger, so I'm going to keep its sign, and then you'll be exact. Last but not least, I have negative 6 plus positive 6. Well, a negative and a positive. Different signs, subtract. 6 minus 6 is just 0. And 0 isn't positive or negative, so you can just leave that as it is. And there you have it. Why don't you pause the video and try these ones on the right? I bet you'll get them with no problem at all. How'd you do? Remember, if you got it wrong, that's okay. See if you can figure out why. And if you can't, highlight it and be ready to discuss it in class tomorrow. Let's keep moving on. What if we have more than just two numbers? Just like yesterday, or just like with addition, you're just going to take it one pair at a time. Now, remember we said that there's a visual way to do this as well. So let's do a few with that because we didn't get very much practice with that on the last video. So let's try it here. Take a look at number 81. I have positive 4, positive 2, and negative 4. So I'm going to do positive 4 gives me 4 plus signs. And positive 2 gives me 2 more. Now negative 4, I'm going to do negative, 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 negative. Now that my positives and negatives are lined up, I can cross them out. And what am I left with? Well, positive 2, and that's my answer. What about number 83? Here I have positive 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and negative 2, 1, 2. Cross out the ones that are lined up. And what am I left with? Positive 2 again. Awesome. Now what about 85? Let's take a look. I have negative 7, positive 2, and negative 7. Now, let me think this through. If I just start making my negative signs, which I could do, I'm going to have 7 and then another 7. That's a lot of minus signs. So if you find that you don't have the room, or if you're dealing with very big numbers, maybe the visual way is not the best way. So this one I would recommend doing in your head. Big numbers or lots of one sign or the other, go ahead and do it in your head. So let's see. First we're going to take this pair, one pair at a time. So negative 7, positive 2, different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger one, and you're good. Now you do your second pair. 5 and 7, both of them are negative. So same signs, add and keep. 7 plus 5 is 12. Keep the negative sign, and you're done. That takes up a lot less room than the visual way. But take a look at this next one. Here I have a positive 3, negative 2, and negative 6. Well, those numbers aren't super huge. Let's do the visual way again. 1, 2, 3 positive, 1, 2 negative, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negative. Cross out the ones that are lined up, and what do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 5. And there's that one. 89, let's see. Here we have a negative 4, a negative 7, and a positive 3. Two, not humongous, but two negative numbers that are kind of big. 7's kind of big. So I would have a long string of negatives left. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one in my head. Negative 4 and negative 7. Same signs, add and keep. Well, 7 plus 4 is just 11. Keep the negative. Now do your second pair. Negative 11, positive 3. Different signs, subtract. So 11 minus 3 is 8. Keep the sign of the bigger one, so I'm going to keep that negative, and I'm good to go. What about 91? I have negative 7 and positive 6. So let's see, different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger one, and then I can do my second pair. Negative 1, negative 3. Same signs, add and keep. So 3 plus 1 is 4. Keep the sign, and I'm done. Now 93 is where things get pretty crazy. We have 4, but that's okay. We're still going to just take it one pair at a time. So let's see. Negative 3 and positive 1. Different signs, subtract. So that's a 2. Keep the sign of the bigger one, and there you have it. Now I'm going to do negative 2 and negative 6. Same signs, add and keep. 6 plus 2 is 8. So 8 and keep the sign. Now for our last pair, negative 8 and positive 4. Different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger one, and then you'll be exact. All right, 95, and then you're on your own. I know you guys can get this. 4 and 8. Positive 4, positive 8. Same signs, add and keep. Next pair, positive 12 and negative 1. Different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger one, so I'll keep this one positive, and then we're good. And my last pair, positive 11, positive 4, same signs, add and keep. And there you have it. All right, so you guys go ahead and stop the video and do 82 through 96 on your own.